Hi everyone and welcome. It's great having you here. Guess what? I got more reindeer milk. It's that time of the year. I put my order in good and early because I knew that shipping was going to be an issue with the election and COVID and everything else going on. I knew that I wanted to get this done so I'd have it in time, and I got it. I have my peppermint essential oil here. I have my oils here. I have my olive oil, my castor oil, and here I have my butters melted. This is my shea butter, my cocoa butter, coconut oil, cocoa butter, and let me actually grab my spatula. Oop, wrong one. I just want to make sure that I don't waste any. I want to get it all in there. All right. So this is always a fun one for me to make. This is my third year making the reindeer milk soap. And I actually had an offer, but I just couldn't invest in the shipping. I get this from someone in Alaska. She also offered me some tallow, 25 pounds of reindeer tallow, but because of the shipping and I just, not this year, maybe another year, but it just wasn't in the budget this year. All right, so I've got my milk here. I've got my clay in here. It's already, the lye has cooled now. I have my sea salt. And I think this is going to be just a wonderful, wonderful soap. And I got a soap stamp. Well, it's not a soap stamp, actually. It's a cookie stamp that I'm going to be using on these. This guy right here, it says reindeer approved. So I'm going to be doing some round soaps and stamping them, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to leave these naturally colored. I had thought about making them red and white and doing something a little Christmassy, but because that requires a lot of different, well, not a lot, but it requires different clays and things, and I decided that because this is about the milk itself, not the design, which is foolish of me sometimes, I know, to just go with just a natural colored soap, but it just feels right sometimes, and I have to do what feels best or feels right to me. Sorry, I'm trying to straighten the camera. I didn't realize how crooked I was. My apologies. So why am I saying this? Why am I bringing this up now? What does this mean? What's the purpose of me talking about color and that sort of thing? I'm having some mixed feelings about certain clays. And I'm not going to go deep into this discussion right now because I'm still reading the science on it. This is just white kaolin clay right here. But along those lines, one of the things that I've been, my bucket moved on me. One of the things that I've been reading, and I'm sure some of you already know this, especially the soapers among us, that some of the clays have some ingredients in them. Just the nature of the clay, of having some rather scary other ingredients in them. And I'm not talking about anything unnatural. Some natural things are really scary, right? But like some clays have higher levels of iron, some may have higher levels of scary stuff in them, like arsenic. That's right. Or some other things that maybe we're still learning about and trying to understand. And because of those things, I've just decided to think a bit about using clays. some certain clays. And I'm still, like I said, doing research on it, so I'm not saying anything definitive right now. But where possible, I will try to use the safe herbs that I know are safe, natural colorants that are safe, natural. Because, like I said, not everything natural is safe and not everything artificial is harmful. I'm going to add in my peppermint essential oil. Okay, so the discussion that I was just having about the clays, I want to touch on that too. I'm going to back up a bit here and talk about that. I'm not doing away with using clays. I love using clays. I'm just saying that I'm doing some research on it just to be sure I have a good understanding of the benefits and any detriment. And this is not for any, I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm not trying to convince you to change anything or to be fearful of anything. That's not my intention at all. I'm just saying I'm doing the research. And while I'm doing that, I just decided to, I know kaolin clay currently, is one of the ones, depending on where it comes from, of course, is safe to use. That also goes to a different discussion. Make sure you have a good understanding, where you can, of where your ingredients come from. For instance, let's talk about French clay. Because it has the word French in the description, you would sure assume that it comes from France, right? And well, that's true. True, French clay comes from France. But some people use it, that description, sort of like French fries. Okay, it's got the word French in it. Well, we know French fries, just because they have the word French in them doesn't mean they're from France. Or that they're made in France. They're made at McDonald's and all kinds of places, right? And some people have taken that and run with it. And so we're selling things that may say French clay, which could be, and I'm only using this as one example because this is the only example I know of, it may be Chinese clay. Or something adulterated that's been mixed with other things. I'm not suggesting that it's necessarily anything bad either. I'm not trying to make any... The only statement I'm trying to make is be knowledgeable about what you're using as best you can be. And I know it's hard. We're dependent on the people that sell these items, right? We're dependent on whether that be Brambleberry, or whether it be Wholesale Supply Plus or Soaper's Choice or whoever it is that you use for supplies, generally I would say that they have done their research and they do a good job with knowing what their products are and where they come from. It's their business. But when you're dealing with something like Amazon, and this is not a dig against Amazon, it is more just about us doing our due diligence. Because it's Amazon, everybody and their brother can sell on Amazon if they've, passed certain criteria and have registered to do that. I'm going to put a little more in a few of these. There we go. But you don't know what those individuals, if they're vetted or not, meaning have they been researched? Do we know that the products that they say are what they say they are? And I can say that I have bought products off Amazon from sellers that were not what they said they were. And I can list probably a dozen different items like this. And Amazon was good about refunding me returning the product, and getting my money back. So that's great. But what about those people that may not know? What about people that buy 16 ounces of what they believe is lavender essential oil at a great price, right, on Amazon, and think, wow, I found a great deal, and here I've got lavender essential oil that I can share with my customers and things, and it turns out that essential oil may have some other things in it that someone doesn't want on their skin. Do your research, read the reviews, as much as you can trust reviews, but do read them. That's very important. What do other people who have ordered these products have to say? I got it and it smells like rubbing alcohol, or I got it and it smells like ammonia, or it smells rancid, or read those. There are a lot of people that have purchased these who are soapers, just like you and me, or people that you watch, who have made these purchases and left great reviews. Are there unscrupulous reviews too? Yes, there are people that, it's kind of like shield betting, where people bet on their own auctions, to raise the price. Yes, there are people who leave reviews on their own products, or have family members do it, that sort of thing. Yeah, that does exist. But when you see thousands of reviews, chances are they don't have thousands of family members, right? So some of those are going to be legitimate reviews. But do read the reviews. That's one thing that you can do. And like I said, that especially with essential oils, I don't buy them off Amazon. Now, if there was a seller on there that I knew, for instance, someone that I knew that made good essential oils that I trusted, and then they decided they also wanted to sell on Amazon, well, sure, I would, if I thought it was less expensive and I could get them that way, yes, of course I would. I'm not going to tell you that I wouldn't, but I just mean if it's somebody that you're not familiar with, that you don't know, don't invest your money in that. Think about it. And ask others, ask other soapers. Sometimes people will share with you. Now, I can tell you, 5 of my essential oils that I use regularly come from a personal connection I have with someone that works at a distillery. So I can't share their information. That's one of the agreements that I made. But I can also tell you that I've bought a lot of essential oils of certain ones from like Piping Rock, I've bought some I don't buy from the multi-level marketing companies that are out there, and I'm not going to mention their names because I don't want to get sued. But there are some reputable companies out there. Well, just do your research and ask in the Facebook groups, what companies people use, because there are a lot of them, and depending on where you live, you may have some real good bargains that are closer to you. But Okay, we're going to let this sit for a bit, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to stamp them. Welcome back, everyone. Well, I'm going to be just honest with you because that's always the best policy. I tried using this stamp, which is made for cookies, by the way, and tried to use it on the soap. And the truth is, you see how thick the letters are and the antlers are? It's just a little much for soap, at least. And I tried it when it was soft, and I tried it when it was harder, and it actually, when I pressed down hard on it to make it go into the soap started to crack. So it wasn't ideal for this, and it's a lovely soap. This is great soap, and here's a bunch of the, the others that I haven't stamped yet, that I won't stamp actually with the reindeer, at least with this reindeer stamp. I do have a cookie cutter of a reindeer that I'm going to try to go back and stamp these with, I think. But unfortunately, the reindeer approved stamp just didn't work that well. Yeah, so it was a fun idea, but I'm still very happy with the soap. The peppermint smell, the reindeer milk is just so luscious, and they smell good. They are a good size. I cut these and made these nice and thick. So this is going to be a great soap for the holiday season, and I'm really looking forward to getting these in the shop. But unfortunately, the stamp, it was just not what I had hoped for. You live and you learn. So my advice would be that if you're going to use something along these lines, maybe a finer text, something that's not quite so heavy. You'll see, let me see how small the space is between the letters. So you need a softer soap to get through there, but if it's too soft, it sticks. Oh, I've tried the alcohol. I tried putting down saran wrap. I tried several. I've actually tested this on several different ones. And this was one of the results I got. See, this is what I was telling you about. It broke the soap. I tried at different stages of the soap to stamp it. So don't think this is something I just gave up on. I tried. I ruined 3 bars of soap trying to do it. They won't go to waste. I'll use them, of course. But just be careful with the tools that you use. Test them out on something you have first. Don't plan your entire soap around it, which I had not planned it all around this. It was about the ingredient. I just thought this would be fun, but didn't work in this particular instance. So I'll just keep on making and keep on enjoying, and just not with that particular stamp. But these are going to be in the shop by early December, probably the end of this month. And I hope that you will give them a try. They smell terrific. They really do. I don't know if you like peppermint as much as I do. It is one of my favorites. And this really has it in spades. All right, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you back soon. Goodbye.